Taste me. You will see. More is all you need. Dedicated to, I'm killing you. I'm crawling faster. Obey your master. Your life burns faster. Obey your master. My men's. My woman's. Something's wrong. Something is extremely wrong with the lore following the nod-krai prologue, and I'm not going to beat around the bush. I'm going to tell you what's wrong here and now. It's long been established in the lore that visions come from archons. While the archons can't pick and choose who gets a vision, all a vision is part of the archon's authority over the elements being transferred to a human with high enough ambition. Snarfelet's story on vision states, quote, "From that day on, whenever a person's wishes reached the heavens, the 7 overseers of the material realm were duty-bound to grant them a gift. Though they might know nothing of who or what wish had stepped into the threshold of the sacred, the 7 archons still had to impart a shattered shard of their mastery to that person." This is all well known, and as such, the implications of this should also be well known. The implication I'm speaking of is the timeline in which this all took place. Given a Gnosis is what makes a god an archon, and the creation of the Gnosis wasn't until after the Great War of Vengeance, that too must mean the first visions didn't appear until after this war. Quote, "Severely wounded in the Great War of Vengeance, the usurper had their functions ruined, and could no longer use their absolute authority to suppress the original order of this world. To continue to subdue and control the resentments and loathing of the world, the usurper and one who came after created the Gnosis together. The Great War of Vengeance. The war that bastard crackhead Dragon King Nibelung came back to Tibet. Souped up on forbidden knowledge." This has been told to us time and time again, be it a pep quite literally telling us this.
"The Dragon King acquired the power of darkness from outside of this world, and led us in a fight against the order established by the outsiders."
Ineffa's weapon writing, quote, "But when the king returned, now corrupted by the darkness, his fury knew no bounds. A great many things happened in this war. Most notably, the Moon Sisters bit the dust, the eternal moon fell, the iridescent moon shattered, leaving but the stagnant frost moon overhead. But my friends, when Nibelung returned to Tibet after losing an 8v5 the first time around, he didn't return alone.
The ancient battle between the Descender and the dragons destroyed the corner of the world, allowing the Abyss to invade.
The Abyss. Tibet now had contact with the Abyss, and in the midst of war, the Abyss ran rampant. As a result of this, following the heavenly principles putting down the rabid mutt, Nibelung, our benevolent heavenly sky father, was forced to cast down divine nails to mend the land and cleanse it of the abyssal poison, but that might not have been all the Winged One did. According to the Lord of the Night Yohudabich, the creation of elemental energy was done for the purpose to better counter the Abyss.
The heavenly principles used phlogiston as a basis for the creation of elemental energy, to develop a power to better counter the Abyss.
But if this is the case, then that would mean elemental energy didn't exist in Teyvat until after the Great War of Vengeance. Now, for quite a while I was content with this line of thinking, because the Abyss didn't come until after the Great War of during the Great War of Vengeance. After all, gods didn't really start appearing in Teyvat until near or after the war with the Second Who Came, but pieces of evidence have come out over the past couple of months that really call this theory into question. The two main ones being the Voyager from afar and the moon wheels made by the heavenly principles and the 3 moon sisters. Starting with the Voyager from afar, it said when they returned to this remade Teyvat, now under the control of the heavenly principles, they noted, quote, "The bones of the earth had been bound beneath 4-fold shackles, and the soft white radiance of the sky had been split into 7 immutable hues. Like drifting smoke had the Lord of the Dragons vanished, and the Winged One's throne now ruled the radiance of the 3 moons." This last line is especially important because by the time these 7 immutable hues were a thing, seemingly elemental energy, the 3 moons still existed, which means this is all before the Great War of Vengeance, before elemental energy should have been made to counter the Abyss. Unless this wasn't elemental energy the Voyager was talking about. Perhaps it's a similar concept that existed before elemental energy. Let's not forget what the Lord of the Night quite literally tells us about what happens when light refracts.
Light refracts into 7 different colors, which we collectively refer to as a rainbow. Elemental energy is a similar concept. It's essentially the modern counterpart of phlogiston.
But that's not all. We've recently come to learn of the existence of moon wheels, vision-like objects unique to nod-krai, or as the dragons refer to the realm, Niflheim. They were made by the Heavenly Principles and the 3 Moon Sisters.
Mirror of the Dawning Morn said it was built by the usurper, along with the 3 gods who abandoned us.
This is strange, as why would an object that essentially performs the same task as visions need to exist at this point in time? Why would the 4 of them feel the need to create it if there was no need for it? The Abyss had yet to invade Teyvat, so why? And given elemental energy might not have existed yet, what power were they using? What were those 7 immutable hues the Voyager saw? And more importantly, who gave Ineffa her vision today, and why is it Electro? Let's not forget, 1 year prior to the start of the story, new Electro visions ceased to exist from Teyvat for reasons not even the Electro Archon knows.
Really? So in all this time, no new Electro visions have appeared in the outside world? Well, what I can say on this topic is subject to certain constraints, but it is not by my will that visions are granted or denied. The key is people's desire. And, well, there's another side to it too.
To answer all these questions, we need but listen to the words of a sub-dragon. Quotes, "Through certain means I managed to acquire a working moon wheel, one of Niflheim's ritual items, or, to be more accurate, a plaything given by the traders to their human followers, allowing them to communicate. Much like the wisdom conferred by our sovereign, the moon wheel relies on a purer form of power and not elemental energy, tainted as it is by the usurper." This one paragraph reveals all. Moon wheels don't use elemental energy. They use a much older power that's far purer, and it's related to the moons. If you recall, this isn't new information. We've long known the people of nod-krai use a unique form of power predating elemental energy, as Mawika told us this.
The people there can use a very special power. It's said that this mysterious power predates even the 7 elements of Teyvat.
Now, this also explains why Ineffa was able to have an Electro moon wheel, because moon wheels utilize a different system than that of elemental energy. This could mean what the Voyager saw wasn't actually elemental energy, but what the Heavenly Principles used as inspiration to create elemental energy, sort of like a beta version that the Moon Sisters were seemingly using to grant people moon wheels, and thus, when the Abyss came after the Great War, the Heavenly Principles created visions for moon wheels and elemental energy from this strange power. The hope is strong with me. The dragon further states, moon wheels were given by the traders, who in this context refers to the moon goddesses, to their human followers for the purpose of communication. They wanted to communicate with their followers, but if it was the moon goddesses who granted visions for the purpose of communication, and Ineffa just received a moon wheel, then that must mean a moon goddess is who gave Ineffa her moon wheel. Now, I wonder if there is a moon goddess currently walking on Teyvat today.